Decision fatigue and mental energy depletion. Let's get something straight. Your brain uses about 20% of your body's energy, despite being only 2% of your body weight. That's like your annoying coworker who eats all the donuts but never brings any. Every email, every decision about whether to reply or reply all, every time you pretend to look busy when your boss walks by, it all burns glucose. And by 5 p.m., your brain is basically running on fumes, which explains why you can't decide what to have for dinner and end up eating cereal for the third time this week. The scientific term for this is decision fatigue, and it's very real. Studies show that judges give more favorable rulings in the morning than in the afternoon. By the end of the day, they're essentially flipping a mental coin. Sound familiar? That's you trying to pick a Netflix show at 9 p.m., scrolling for 40 minutes before rewatching The Office again. What makes this worse is that modern work demands constant cognitive switching. You're jumping between tasks like a caffeinated kangaroo, checking Slack, responding to emails, attending meetings, then trying to remember what you were actually working on before all those interruptions. Each switch costs mental energy, and by the end of the day, you've burned through your cognitive budget faster than you burn through your coffee supply. The stress response system. Here's where it gets interesting. Your body doesn't know the difference between a charging bear and a passive-aggressive email from Karen in accounting. Both trigger your stress response. Your sympathetic nervous system kicks in, pumping out cortisol and adrenaline like it's preparing you to fight for your life. Except you're not fighting, you're just sitting there, stewing in stress hormones while typing, "per my last email," with the fury of 1,000 suns. This constant, low-level stress keeps your body in a state of tension. Your muscles are tight, your heart rate is elevated, and your body is burning through energy like it's training for the Olympics. But instead of running a marathon, you're just running through your inbox. The physiological toll is identical, but at least marathon runners get a medal. You get another meeting invite. Poor posture and physical strain. Sitting is the new smoking, they say, and your body agrees wholeheartedly. When you slouch at your desk, and you don't lie, your muscles work overtime to keep you upright. Your neck is craned forward at an angle that would make a giraffe weep, staring at screens that are never quite at the right height. This creates something called static loading, where your muscles are constantly engaged but not actually moving. It's exhausting in a way that's hard to explain. You haven't run anywhere, you haven't lifted anything heavier than a coffee mug, but your trapezius muscles feel like they've been bench pressing your bad life choices. Add in that you probably haven't had a proper ergonomic setup since 2019, and congratulations, you've turned sitting into an extreme sport. The artificial light problem. Your circadian rhythm is controlled by light exposure, and office lighting is essentially gaslighting your internal clock. Fluorescent lights and blue light from screens suppress melatonin production, the hormone that makes you sleepy. So all day, your body thinks it's high noon in the Sahara Desert. Then you go home, where it's actually dark, and your body finally realizes, oh wait, maybe it's time to wind down. But by then, you're so wired that you can't. This disruption doesn't just make you tired, it makes you that special kind of tired where you're exhausted but can't actually fall asleep. You know, the kind where you lie in bed mentally replying to work emails at 2 a.m. Your ancestors regulated their sleep with the sun. You regulate yours with the glow of your phone while doom scrolling through social media. Evolution didn't prepare us for this. The result? Your sleep quality tanks, and you wake up already tired, creating a vicious cycle where coffee becomes a food group and exhaustion becomes your default setting. Social interaction fatigue. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. People are exhausting. Whether you're an introvert who needs to recharge after human interaction, or an extrovert who's been in back-to-back Zoom calls with cameras off, social navigation is draining. You're constantly reading facial expressions, moderating your tone, laughing at jokes that aren't funny, and performing the intricate dance of office politics. Every conversation requires you to be on. You can't just exist. You have to exist in a way that's professional, pleasant, and doesn't get you reported to HR. That's cognitive labor, and it's invisible but very real. Even if you like your coworkers, performing likability for 8 hours straight would tire out a golden retriever. The commute effect. Whether you drive or take public transit, your commute is stealing your energy. If you drive, you're in a constant state of vigilance, navigating traffic while suppressing road rage. Every red light is a personal attack. Every person who doesn't use their turn signal is testing your commitment to being a law-abiding citizen. Your stress hormones are peaked before you even clock in. Public transit isn't better, you're just stressed in a different way. You're crammed into enclosed spaces, managing personal space violations, and hoping the person next to you understands basic hygiene. By the time you arrive at work, you've already spent an hour being vaguely traumatized by strangers, and then you get to do it all again going home. It's a double feature of exhaustion. If you've made it this far and you're nodding along while lying on your couch at 6 p.m. wondering why you can't move, hit that like button and subscribe so you can learn more ways your body is conspiring against you in the modern world. Your future exhausted self will thank you.